really feel a warm place in my heart for these shoes. Welcome to Full Court Fits, the show that brings you around the world of NBA fashion, as well as bringing you the most pressing, important news in sneaker culture. I'm Big Wos. Let's go. First up, we got the young boy, second-year guy, Terance Mann of the Los Angeles Clippers. Terance Mann has been a revelation throughout the entire playoffs, so congrats to him on a breakout postseason.
Terance Mann is unstoppable.
But let's get into this fit now. Again, I told you that the set suits was in. You see it all over the place throughout the entire playoffs. This is no different here from Terance Mann. It's from a brand called Hounds, which I don't know really much about, but they've already gotten placements with J. Cole on the Slam cover. They got a Young Thug placements. These are pretty much heavy hitters for these guys to be getting looks with, so they're clearly connected. I think this is a decent look, right? Sort of off black, if you will, colorway. And then my man has on a leg sleeve. I've been told that was for injury and health purposes, but it feels like he was trying to make it a thing with the look. I don't know.
Come on, you gotta know what you had.
But I heard it was for health purposes, so we'll let him slide. But I think the main feature of this ensemble are these Bottega Veneta, I'm told they're puddle boots. So I guess they're rain boots. Cute with the name. Not for me, but you know, shouts to Mann. The young boy's clearly trying to get his feet wet, if you will, in the style game, and he's just getting started and getting busy. I applaud him for taking risks and going out there, but I'm dropping this fit. Next up, we got NBA Finals bound Cameron Payne of the Phoenix Suns. Here in a Kill the Hype hat, which shouts to Kill the Hype, man. Kill the Hype's been doing their thing for a minute. Everybody wants a hat from them. Button up, the black tee underneath. I like the little accents and the details of a fit, right? I'm feeling the little cholo, one button, let the rest flow. It's sort of like you rocking a cape when the wind blows through it. I'm feeling that little detail. Gallery department jeans. Now look, I said this before when it comes to Palm Angels, when it comes to Chrome Hearts. The trend is I'm over it. I'm actually feeling these because these just look like a pair of sensible Gap jeans. Fire. I don't know that you need to pay $1,200 to achieve it, but hey, these jeans look great. I'm feeling them despite the fact that they're gallery department. And of course, you can never really go wrong with a pair of Air Jordan 1s. So I'm copping this fit from Campaign despite the trend humpy nature of it all. That was spicy, but whatever. I gave him his props. Last week, we debuted a brand new section called PJ's Playhouse, dedicated to the style leanings and the innovation of one PJ Tucker. Guess what, folks? It's back again this weekend because this week, the news dropped that he has his own collaboration coming out with Dolce and Gabbana. Obviously, this is a legendary brand. This is a legendary collab, quite frankly. This is groundbreaking stuff. Last year, PJ Tucker was a sneaker free agent, and this man created a bidding war. Mind you, PJ Tucker is not an MVP candidate. He's not an all-star. He doesn't lead his team in scoring. He doesn't have the ball in his hand all the time. He's a glue guy who has managed to make himself a relevant person in sneaker in fashion culture. This is basically unprecedented. I think the only person that you could compare to PJ Tucker as far as what he's doing on the court, not being one of the marquee type of players, to his relevance culturally, you have to go as far back as basically Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was doing a whole set of other antics in order to achieve his acclaim and his fame. PJ Tucker has done it by just being somebody who has impeccable taste. This man has 2 sneaker deals. That's unprecedented in this game. PJ Tucker was smart enough, was savvy enough to carve out a deal for himself that he can not only be a Nike athlete and brand ambassador, but he can go out and do things with other brands. I tip my cap to PJ for what he's doing. Now, as far as the shoe itself, I'm into it. It kind of reminds me of the very first original Pharrell ice cream sneakers mixed with the S. Carters. You'll remember Jay-Z's collaboration with Reebok way back. Crazy colorways. Also, I want to give props to PJ Tucker for or debuting a brand new colorway of his teammate Giannis Antetokounmpo's free threes. And I also love the idea of letting PJ Tucker, one of the biggest influencers and important people in sneaker culture, giving him the opportunity to debut the shoe on court.
The only way is up now. The only way is up.
Making PJ Tucker debut a signature shoe from a signature athlete, not from that signature athlete. You want to align Giannis's shoe with something that's so obviously cool, obviously so in tune with culture, and that is PJ Tucker's brand, PJ Tucker as a person. So it's kind of dope to watch Nike be a little bit more strategic about how they roll these things out. I'm feeling this. Thank you again, PJ Tucker. All right, now it's time for Sneak Peek. First up, the New Balance 920 made in England. I really feel a warm place in my heart for these shoes. You got the grays, you got the navy blues, the overlays, the mesh. You can just look at the sneaker. This is an impressive shoe. We can get that part out of the way. What I want to say about this shoe is I want to give props to New Balance for being a brand that makes shoes both here in the United States, in their factory in Massachusetts, and in England. And yes, those shoes sell at a higher price point, but guess what? That's how much it costs to pay those people in those places to make these shoes. A lot of people like to become moralizers and talk about the horrible conditions of the factories in China, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. From the other brands like Nike, like Adidas, and like New Balance, quite frankly. Some of their shoes are made in factories in Asia. But the bottom line is, man, if you really feel that way and you're one of those moralizers, you need to be buying these kinds of shoes. I get that the price point is higher. This shoe retails at $230. That's a pretty penny. But guess what? That's how much it costs to walk the walk. A lot of people get on the internet and chat, but every time Nike drops some hype situation, they're on it. If you're one of those people who talks about workers' rights and work conditions, let's buy sneakers made in places where we feel like the working conditions were actually just and humane. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but these sneakers are fly. Now we got to get into Travis Scott, who, let's face it, has made himself one of the most important people in all of footwear via his collaborations with Nike. So many of those sneakers have gone up. He's a force in the game to be reckoned with. His latest collaboration, however, is with Dior. Back in the days, there was this idea that high fashion and street fashion were these separate entities, and high fashion, let's face it, was way more hoity-toity, elitist, and kind of thumbed their nose at what was going on the streets. But that's not the case anymore. All of that being said, Travis Scott gets his own shoe. It's also a whole line of clothes and garments and all of that.
How do you keep your pants up when you're performing? It's incredible.
Belt. Whatever, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the shoes, which is a glorified DC skater shoe. I don't understand why I should be excited for this. I get the chunky laces. I'm feeling the gum bottom. That's it. Like I said, like, this is a skater shoe. Is Travis Scott a skater? Does he skate for real? My skate fans, get at me. I don't know. Travis Scott is definitely partly responsible for bringing that SV wave into a level of just like, it's impossible for anybody to get their hands on SBs at a reasonable price anymore. So Scott is part of making that trend a thing. And he's definitely, again, he's at the forefront of all of this. He wears something, it's gonna go. Like, all of the kids, all of the tastemakers are behind him. I get that. However, this shoe does absolutely nothing for me. All right, y'all, that's our shows for today. Make sure you subscribe to the feed. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you put the notification bell on so every time our show comes on, you get a nice ping about it. We'll see you next week. I'm out of here.